Hello everyone and welcome to something new for the channel. And what we're doing new is a Madden 2001 Bengals franchise. We're going to do a whole rebuild shortly after the Bengals started their rebuild, kicking it off by drafting Akili Smith in the 1999 NFL Draft. In refusing the entire draft capital of the New Orleans Saints to do so. So we're going to create our coach/GM who's going to see us through here. It's Dan Welch. That's going to be our guy, is Mr. Dan Welch. Remember the name. What's going to be fun about this rebuild is in Madden 01, the Texans don't exist. They're not going to exist. They're never going to happen. I think by this time, actually, the news of the expansion to Houston was a thing, or would be a thing within the next year. But in this game, it's not a thing. So the NFL as it existed before the Houston expansion is not. That's what we're going to be dealing with. That's how we're going to be doing it. So if you don't know, you will realize or see over the course here how the NFL is laid out and how things are going to be a bit different, how we rebuild things. So looking over our roster here, of course, our quarterback room is led by Akili Smith. In our running back room, one of our biggest highlights of the roster is Cory Dillion. Our receiving core here, we have Peter Warrick, a young Peter Warrick, which is kind of going to be a big focal point of our offense functions moving forward. So considering where the Bengals were as a franchise at this time, the roster is bad. I mean, it's bad. I won't lie about it. But there's things that we can definitely work around. So there's parts of our defense that are pretty decent heading into this. We have a solid linebacking core. Our defensive line isn't really all that bad, but our secondary is pretty not great. And then offensively, we have some young pieces on offense that we can definitely build around through the first season or two of this rebuild, and hopefully make them cornerstones moving forward for a relatively cheap price, and we won't have to tank or try to get any draft picks or make any monumental trades. We have a ton of cap space, so we can go to free agency and we can make some trades here and cut off some of this depth that we have, because there's a lot of young guys sitting on this team who are probably not going to see the field. We're going to put a lot of investment into the guys that we already have. So as you can see, I'm already digging into free agency to see if we can bolster in any way, shape, or form. I'm not trying to do a massive overhaul. That's something I'm kind of against. Maybe you remember from the Cardinals franchise. I'm kind of against that because there's a lot of guys here that can help out. They're a little bit older and stuff. They're just rotting away in free agency, and they will rot away in free agency. But there's some people that we can grab, and I think Craig Newsome here at 29, 87 overall is a perfect addition that we're going to need for our secondary, because we really do not have a really solid number one option. Tom Carter is that option currently, and Archel Hawkins is a pretty solid, I guess, second option at 80 and 77. But I don't want to have just two giant holes at that position. So to lock down Newsome for less than $2 million for the next 4 seasons, I think is a really solid investment for this secondary, because for as long as we'll be here, he'll probably also be there and be one of our best defensive options. So I think that's a solid move. And now we're going to move over to trading players and see if we can move off of some of these younger guys like Archel Hawkins. That was kind of my plan here. My thought process when I went to sign Craig Newsome was, if we can get an actual decent starter at cornerback 1, and we can trade away one of these younger guys in the mid-70s to a team that has even less depth than we do, then we can probably reap the benefits and get like a second or a third. So we're going to look here, and we see that the Giants really don't have a good second option. They have a solid number one option, but not a solid second option. So they're willing to offer us their third-round pick for Hawkins. The Giants aren't typically good here, so that could be a pretty high-value pick by the end of the year, depending on how the Giants season plays out. So drafting is going to be kind of important in this game, because scouting doesn't really come into play until I think Madden 03. So in Madden 01, it's literally just the players' overalls and stats are just presented to you, and you just got to pick whatever one you want. And I think with Draft Assist, it just gives you the players at positions that you need. So there's really zero challenge or skill involved with drafting in Madden 01. So if we can stock up on as many picks as we can, or just at least a few more picks than what we already have, we should be able to build a pretty solid draft class in year one. We should patch a lot of the holes that we have. So we don't have a lot of bad contracts or anything. Maybe you noticed with our cornerbacks, Doug Carter, the 80 overall, is getting paid more than Craig Newsome is getting paid per year. So that's kind of one of the other value things I was looking at when I signed Newsome. But that's the contract situations we have. There's really no one here making a ton of money. Eventually, people like Cory Dillion and Akili Smith, if we choose to keep him, and maybe Peter Warrick are going to demand a lot of money. But for now, we have a relatively cheap roster that we can build around and move forward. So let's look ahead to the season now and see what our schedule's looking like. So we start the year off with a bye week, which sucks, but then we have the Browns, Jaguars, and Ravens, all division games, leading us into week 5 with the Dolphins, and then we have more division play with the Titans and Steelers before we play the Broncos, and then back to the Browns and Ravens, and then we have the Cowboys, Patriots, Steelers again, and then the Cardinals, Titans, Jags, and we close things off with the Eagles. So this is a pretty difficult schedule. Our division has about 6 teams in it, so it's going to be a pretty tough schedule to work through. The Browns on paper are about as similar of a team as we are. We have a little bit of a slighter edge here in some offensive positions, some important offensive positions, but the game evaluates us as about the same. So we're going to simulate the first couple weeks of the season here, go through our bye week, which really doesn't matter, just an extra week to work out, I guess. Work out some kinks maybe, but we pick up the win against the Browns, a big division win to start off our year, and we're also going to just speed through this Jaguars game before we head into week 4 against the Ravens, and so we're going to take an L to the Jaguars, a pretty significant L, before we travel to Baltimore for the first game that we're going to watch here for this series. So the Ravens in this season need very little introduction. I'm almost positive this is the Ravens team with like one of the craziest, if not the craziest, defense in NFL history. So our division is absolutely stacked with solid teams. We have the Steve McNair and Eddie George Titans still to worry about. We have this Ravens team that we have to worry about. The Jaguars are also pretty decent with like Mark Brunell and Fred Taylor. And I think the Steelers and Browns are really kind of the only middle tier guys. So we're going to gut into the game here. The Ravens are on their opening drive here. They have a second and short situation, and Tony Banks is under a lot of pressure, but he's able to get the ball off to Patrick Johnson, and Johnson is going to haul that one in. It was an amazing one-handed grab, and he had Tony Banks had pressure all inside of his face, and he was still able to get rid of that ball somehow, and now the Ravens have prime field position just past midfield into our territory. So our defense is going to need to lock it up here. We already invested in the secondary, and we're going to need some better play. So on 1st and 10, Banks is going to drop back. He's got a much cleaner pocket now, and he's going to flip it out to his fullback, Gash, who picks up a few yards on the sideline. So on 2nd and 7 now, Banks is here with a single back behind him. That's Priest Holmes, make no mistake. He's going to drop back again, another clean pocket, and float this one out to the left side now. And he is going to find his man yet again. So, a fresh set of downs here, and the Ravens are going to go back to Gash. He's going to run up the middle here, find an open hole, and get up a good chunkage of yardage. So on 2nd and 4, the Ravens want to try and get another first down, or maybe even hit the end zone. Banks is going to go through the air again, and he's going to find Quadri Ismail. I think it's how you say it, Quadri Ismail, and he's going to catch that one way out of bounds. So on 3rd and short, the Ravens need just a few yards here to get past that line. They're going to go with Gash again, and Gash is going to get stood up by our massive linebacker, Ross. He's going to save the first down for us, and the Ravens are going to have to send out Stover to try and knock this one through, which he does. So the Ravens are going to take a 3-0 lead here early on. They eat up most of the first quarter. And so 3-0 is going to be our score after 1. So 1st and 10 now, we are driving. Akili Smith's going to drop back. He's got all day to throw, and he takes that time to have that ball go through a few Ravens' hands. And now the Ravens defender, it's Dwayne Starks, is going to avoid all of the pressure heading his way, and he's going to find the grass, the end zone grass, for a pick 6, a Baltimore pick 6. Familiar face on the channel, Dwayne Starks. is the last one to touch the ball as it goes through a couple Ravens linebackers' hands. Akili Smith had all day to make this decision. I don't really know what he was seeing or what he was trying to get, but Dwayne Stark shakes off a tackle and just has the speed to evade any of our now defenders trying to stop the pick six, but it is inevitable. So the Ravens' 3-point lead quickly turns into a 10-point lead. So now with the chance with the ball again, Akili Smith under a ton of pressure off the edge, and he's going to float this one up and find Peter Warwick, and he's going to get brought down just shy of midfield. So on 1st and 10, Akili Smith's going to drop back. He's got pressure again, but he gets rid of the ball, and it's a long floater, and he finds Warwick again. He's going to shake off the defender and find the end zone. So in just a couple plays, we are able to finally touch the scoreboard, and we are going to cut this one 7-10. But the Ravens are driving yet again close to midfield, and Banks is going to drop back and float this one out to his man. I believe that's Ismail again. He finds for a big pickup. So now they're going to go with the ground game and find Priest Holmes, who's going to go up the middle and just get a few yards here. We need to silence him, make sure he doesn't expose us. So on 2nd and 7, coming out of the 2-minute warning now, the Ravens have prime field position, going to try and get some points here before the half is done. They're going to go with the ground game yet again and call Priest Holmes' number again, and he's going to get brought down shy of the markers. On 3rd and short, Banks under some pressure. He's going to float this one out to his man, and he cannot connect with him as that hits our defender in the back. So Stover's going to come out and try and make this one a 13-7 game, and he does just that as that one splits the uprights yet again. Stover's automatic so far. Defense doing a good job of preventing 7 points on the board, but we are unable to do anything with the football on offense, so the Ravens are going to get another shot before the first half is over to do something with the ball, and Banks is already connected with Ismail again to get the ball in Bengal territory. So with 36 seconds left, the Ravens are in shotgun formation. They're trying to get the touchdown here if they can, but the pressure gets home to Banks this time, and Booker, our big left end, comes off the edge and is able to silence that passing game. So on 2nd and 17, Banks is going to go through the air again, and on the run, he makes a spectacular throw, and Patrick Johnson makes an even crazier catch to haul that one in for a first down. So with 26 seconds left, an injury will stop the clock for the Ravens. So they got a lot of time to think this one over here. Banks is going to drop back. He's got a very clean pocket and all day to throw, and he takes all day to throw, but cannot connect with Shannon Sharp. So it's going to bring up 2nd and 10 now with 21 seconds, and the Ravens are going to go in the ground game with Priest Holmes, who's going to get maybe 4 or 5 yards, and it looks like they're going to try and center this one for another field goal attempt. Now, they had plenty of time to maybe run another play or so, but hey, just going for the 3 points, I mean, that's a safe option if you want to take it, because that will give the Ravens a now 16-7 lead entering the locker room for the first half. So we're going to need to pick it up here and do something here. We're driving now in our first drive out of the half. It's 1st and 10. Akili Smith's got a lot of time, and on the run he makes a throw to McGee, our tight end, who hauls it in and gets a few yards after the catch to get inside the 25-yard line. So that's a huge pickup. We needed something like that to get the offense going here in the second half. Find the tight end. You like to see everyone get involved. So 1st and 10 now from the Raven 25. Akili Smith dropping back. He's got a lot of time. Pump fakes, and now he gets rid of the ball, and he finds his man, but his man is going to drop the ball. I couldn't see what receiver that was, but now the Ravens had an opportunity. They can't do much with it. So now the Bengals, again, we have another shot with the ball, just about where we started last drive when we tuned in, and our drive starting off the same way again with Akili Smith finding McGee, this time across the middle of the field for a first down. So now we're going to go with the ground game and find Cory Dillion, who gets his head nearly taken off by that Raven defender before he gets maybe 1 or 2 yards. So 2nd and 8 now, clock ticking away here. Akili Smith's going to drop back and hand it off now to our fullback, Gorse. I don't know how you say his name. But again, it's not a huge pickup. So 3rd and 6, we're in shotgun formation, and the Bengals are really, really harping on getting that ground game going, apparently. I guess Dan Welch, coach, really wants to establish the ground game. It's not working. So we're going to have to take 3 points now as Pelfrey is able to knock that one through from 45 to cut the lead now to just 6 points as the third quarter expires. So it all comes down to this now. We have another opportunity with the football. It's a 3rd and very long situation, and we find our man who fumbled earlier in the game. There's no one in front of him, and he is gone, sir. That is it. That is all she wrote. There's no one that's going to catch him. I don't know how you left him that wide open. And now we see it is Dugans. I forgot about Dugans. All throughout editing, I had these names seared in my brain, but it's been a while since I edited the videos. But that is Dugans now, who gets the massive touchdown for us, a huge clutch touchdown. So we have the 1-point lead, and now the Ravens are going to desperately try and retake the lead that they have had literally all game now. So within the last 2 minutes, they're going to try and do something here as Tony Banks takes a deep sack, now very deep in Raven territory, and he's going to go for the spike. I mean, the AI is just weird in this game, man. They got plenty of time to set up the offense. So on 3rd and 18, Banks is going to drop back. He's got a clean pocket, and he floats this one way out, and he cannot connect with his receiver. He was in position to make the play. I guess it was Shannon Sharp who he was trying to find, but couldn't haul that one in. So on 4th and 18, it's do or die time for the Ravens offense. Tony Banks is in shotgun. He's going to drop back. He's got zero pressure to speak of, and he's going to float this one out again, and he connects this time, and he finds his man. Quadri Ismail again is going to haul this one down. Not a great day for Banks, but he's definitely finding Ismail. So right around midfield is where the Ravens are going to have this football as clock continues to run, and Banks is going to spike it now to give the Ravens some time to think about it. But with just 1:10 left, Banks got a clean pocket yet again, and he throws this one out here and finds Ismail again, who hauls in the catch. He staggers off of the initial contact, and we were able to bring him down before he can regain himself and break for another chunk of yardage there. It was a good tackle by Ross to contain that play after the catch. But the time is going to continue to tick, but now the Ravens are in game-winning field goal territory. They really just need to probably center it, maybe get another 5 or 10 yards just for safety, and Banks is going to spike it here, and they're going to think this one over. So on 2nd and 10 now, 51 seconds left to go. The Ravens really probably could put the game away now, and it looks like they're going to try and do that now as they go with Priest Holmes on the ground and maybe get a little bit closer to the 20 and burn some time. So on 3rd and 6, the Ravens now coming out in I formation. They're going to go with Priest Holmes again, who's got some coverage, but he just dives into the line of scrimmage, and that is going to center it basically for the Ravens. And now Stover's just going to have to come out and put us away and send us packing, and he does just that. So the Ravens are going to extend here to 19-17, but the Bengals, we still have 33 seconds to operate. So from our own 20, Akili Smith, all day to throw. He's backing further and further. Pump fakes, wants it all deep, and he finds Dugans again, who shakes off the defender. It's Dwayne Starks he shakes off. He said he's sorry. Ray Lewis in pursuit. He's not going to catch him, and Dugans is lost again. Jeez Louise, man. Can you believe what you're seeing? This is Madden 01 magic, man. You got to be kidding me. As Dugans is able to escape the pressure, Ray Lewis doesn't have the speed needed to get to him. So we're going to go for 2 points here for our extra point here and try and extend it and just help ourselves, give us some insurance. And Cory Dillion's got the room there, but he cannot find the end zone, so we cannot convert. So 17 seconds. The Ravens still have time to answer back to us. What can they do, man? They're at their own 20. Tony Banks dropping back. The pressure is on. He gets rid of the football, and that one is perfectly defended by our safety. Shannon Sharp cannot connect yet again. So 13 seconds now. The Ravens have even less time to create a miracle, find a miracle, something. And the pressure from Ross is once again in Tony Banks' face, and he cannot connect with his receiver. So we are really shutting down the pass game. We're here late. 3rd and 10. 10 seconds left to go. Banks again dropping back. Throws this one away, and he finds, I believe that's Patrick Johnson again. It is, and he hauls this one in for a first down. But only 4 seconds. There's one opportunity left for the Ravens, and Banks nearly throws an interception to Craig Newsome, our free agency pickup, and that is going to be all she wrote here. Was 2nd and 10 now. 1 second left. Can we put this one away? Please, can we put it away? Banks has got all day to throw. There's zero pressure, and he wants it all. He wants the home run ball, and he does not connect with Ismail, and now that puts it away. I thought we were done at least 3 or 4 plays, man. I forgot how insane this game got back and forth, but that's going to do it. 23-19 is going to be your final score. We put away probably our toughest, top-loaded opponent within the division in the Baltimore Ravens. I can't believe it. We managed to do it. And, of course, Ron Dugans is our MVP of this game, dude, because, geez, he's our MVP. I think Dwayne Starks got player of the game, but he is our MVP. So a lot of things to take away here, I guess, to really analyze it here. Our passing game was really potent in those few long plays that we had to Ron Dugans. Outside of that, I don't think offensively we really powered through much at all, but we were able to outdo what the Ravens were doing on offense, which I think is probably the most important thing. So we're analyzing this game. We're going to look further in here and now look over our stats and stuff. as the video now is going to come to a close. And so in the next video, we're going to do look over the next couple games of the season. I'm going to sim a few games and then watch a few games and kind of commentate on them. So hopefully we see you guys in the next part of our Bengals series.